U.S. inflation rose 2.7% year over year in June, signaling early effects of Trump's tariffs on consumer prices. Tariff-exposed goods were surging. Prices rose sharply in areas like appliances at 1.9%, household furnishings at 1%, apparel at 0.4%, and toys surged at their fastest pace since 2021. Companies are beginning to shift the cost of tariffs onto consumers, with core goods prices, excluding cars, seeing their biggest monthly jump since 2021. U.S. inflation in June increased 0.2% month over month. This modest monthly rise aligns with core inflation trends, but core goods prices, excluding cars, rose 0.55% month over month, the largest monthly jump also since November 2021. This indicates that tariff-related price pressures are intensifying in specific sectors. As far as market implications go, we remain at all-time highs in stocks and equities, with the rise in inflation leading to higher treasury yields. The 30-year yield reached 5%, signaling growing concern in bond markets. This makes our ability to borrow more expensive. The report intensifies debate at the Federal Reserve, which is split on whether tariffs will trigger short-term inflation shocks or lead to persistent pricing pressure.
What effect are tariffs having on price? Zero, Stuart. I mean, almost zero, literally. The reason people export is to be able to earn the wherewithal to import. So if you import and those prices go up, your exports go down and those prices fall. This is called Lerner's symmetry theorem, and it should have virtually no effect whatsoever on overall inflation, period. That's theoretically. If you look at the numbers with the Smoot-Hawley tariff or with Nixon's tariffs, prices fell rather than rose. So I don't know what all this brouhaha is about inflation.
Well, listen to this. This is a headline from the New York Times, just coming across at us after the CPR report. It says, U.S. inflation accelerated in June as Trump's tariffs pushed up prices. The direct opposite of what you say.
This is my life's work. I've worked on international trade. Yeah. And 1 month, one way or the other, these things bobble and wiggle and have volatility. But believe me, it is not an inflation issue that comes with tariffs. It is an output production standard of living issue. That's real. But this is not.
This is what the Fed was waiting for. They wanted to see what Trump's tariff-heavy economic strategy was beginning to cost, and if it would show in the numbers, not just to foreign exporters, but to everyday Americans. And if we continue to push ahead with tariffs, we will see a dent in our wallets. It could be widespread, it could be contained to certain sectors. Trump's first term threatened and implemented tariffs, the highest we've seen in decades. And now this is a continuance of that same policy. When looking at these numbers, anything under 5%, in my opinion, is readily stable. Remember, these are only economic surveys. They are not real, hard, tangible data. So in order to understand if the American consumer is actually the one absorbing the blow, it's your voice ultimately that matters. Is it becoming more difficult to feed your family? Are you struggling or questioning everyday purchases that you might make? Are you putting off larger expenditures, including things like vacations or purchasing a car? Strategic trade policy is one thing, but blanket tariffs are altogether another. The impact will come home to roost, no matter how much we bring in tariff revenue. But ultimately, it is a subjective, intangible, and idiosyncratic measure and a story that each American consumer has to tell. Let me know your thoughts.